his third appearance for Spurs, and Manchester United, with all their injuries, no Kobbie Mainoo, no Amad Diallo, probably out for the rest of the season. Amad Diallo, their team, Onana in goal, Matthijs de Ligt, Harry Maguire and Noussair Mazraoui. As the whistle goes from referee Peter Banks and the match begins, Patrick Dorgu and Diogo Dalot in the wide areas, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes, and then Joshua Zirkzee, Alejandro Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund. This the third meeting of the season between Tottenham and Manchester United, as United go back to their goalkeeper Onana, who clears it long. Remember earlier this season Tottenham won 3-0 at Old Trafford. A really impressive performance that was. Brennan Johnson scored in the third minute of that match. Johnson, who is among the substitutes as well for Tottenham today. So Maddison and Vicario back in the team. Brennan Johnson is on the bench. Udogie is there, and Odegaard as well, who's missed most of this season. No Van de Ven yet though. Manchester United defending. De Ligt, red shirts, white shorts, black socks against Tottenham in their first choice colours. The white shirts with the blue trim down the sides, blue shorts and white socks, and Manchester United have a free kick deep in their own half. I think that was a late challenge on De Ligt, wasn't it? Clinton Morrison's alongside me, Premier League goal scorer, went to the World Cup with the Republic of Ireland, and this game is, even though it's bottom half of the Premier League, this is brilliantly set up.
Yeah, they're still two top teams. I know they haven't had good seasons, but they're still two big clubs in the Premier League, and it's an interesting one. I know for sure one thing, John, this won't be a 0-0, that is for sure, because both teams are open and defensively haven't been good enough, and I think there's a lot of attacking talent.
Well, as I keep saying, Clinton, this is the 81st match that Ange Postecoglou has been the Tottenham manager in League and Cup. They've never had a 0-0 draw.
There you go.
And when they met last time, before Christmas, in the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup, that was one of the many thrillers. And if you remember, Tottenham won it by 4-3, as Tottenham have the ball halfway inside their own half and go back to Kevin Danso, who is also one of the January arrivals. Kevin Danso out to the left-hand side. Maddison and Spence together. Here's James Maddison. Spurs, well, good to see anyone back, but for James Maddison, missed the last 5 matches with a calf injury. Vicario missed the last 3 months with the broken bone in his ankle, the goalkeeper. So Kinski is on the substitutes bench today, and here's Ben Davis. So it's Davis and Danso, the two Ds, the central defenders. So Archie Gray finally gets a rest after a long run in the team where he has done incredibly well for his tender years.
Yeah, you're right, John. He's been outstanding. His best position is probably midfield, but he's had to play centre half. But that would have helped him in the future times moving forward.
And actually, Dorgu is playing on the left-hand side today, and Diogo Dalot on the right-hand side. Against Leicester in the Cup, it was the other way around, wasn't it? Whereas Dorgu's first choice position is left-sided player, but that's where he is today.
Yeah, that made no sense to me, and then they dragged him at half-time. I thought he was struggling, but that's how Ruben Amorim likes his wing-backs to play. I saw it at Sporting Lisbon when he was there.
Yeah, so Patrick Dorgu, the 20-year-old Danish international, but this substitutes bench really for Manchester United as it goes back to Onana. That has been the talk of the town today. Victor Lindelof is there, but the rest of them have not had a first team appearance between them. 3 17-year-olds, 3 19-year-olds and 2 18-year-olds. That is the extent of Manchester United's difficulties with injury and illness. That's why Yoro and Eriksson are not involved at all today. Illness. So even though Manchester United have not played since the match against Leicester, the controversial end to that match with Harry Maguire's goal from the offside position that put Manchester United through into the 5th round, even though they've not played for 9 days, they've lost a whole list of players. Here's Ben Davis in the centre circle then. Tottenham playing from right to left in the first half, so attacking towards the north stand end, as Mazraoui leans into Maddison, who is trying to go around him, and Maddison's straight up on his feet across to Peter Banks, and is probably kind of suggesting that was worth a yellow card for Mazraoui.
There was a pull from Mazraoui. I think it's because it's his first one and it's so early on in the game. Peter Banks didn't want to give a yellow card, but by the letter of the law it should have been a yellow card, John.
No, I'm not suggesting that Maddison was waving the imaginary yellow card or anything, as Spence puts the cross into the Manchester United box, but it's headed away well. Very nearly given away on the edge of the box by Garnacho. In fact, Tottenham do have it. Porro with the cross, but that's cleared away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Casemiro. and Spurs have it again on the halfway line. So this is 5 Live from the BBC, our second Premier League commentary of the day. It sounded as though Liverpool at one stage were going to win that quite comfortably against Wolves, but it turned out not to be the case. It was quite a tight finish in the end.
It was, and you can hear the Liverpool fans were a bit frustrated towards the end, but it's all about the 3 points for them.
All about the 3 points. That's at the top end of the table. Tottenham and Manchester United not concerned about that. This, of course, there might be a fourth meeting this season between these teams, and if there is, it'll be in Bilbao in the Europa League final towards the end of May. Here's Son, wriggles away from Dalot, left-footed cross to the back post, and Kulusevski arriving, couldn't get there. Dorgu got himself in the way of Kulusevski. Here's Bergvall, back to Kulusevski, then Bentancur. Tottenham have had a week as well. We should say that players have had a couple of days off, in fact 3 days off I think in total they've had this week, so a bit of a reset as the cross comes into the Manchester United box. Maddison with a flick, but then cleared away by Casemiro. He's almost like one of the backline Casemiro in the early stages of this.
He is, he's literally sitting in front of that back five, and Tottenham have started good, they're dominating.
Sometimes he's sitting in it. Here's Spence, now down the left. Spence's ball flashes across the 6-yard box, but Onana came and then realised it was heading wide and beyond the far post and just allowed it to go through as if he was leaving one outside off stump. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0, 6 minutes on the clock, and it's been mainly Tottenham.
It has, a good run from Jed Spence, and that's why we were talking about him before. He's been exciting, he likes to defend, he's better at going forward than he is defending, but I've been really impressed with him. But you're right, Tottenham have started right on the front foot, John.
Yes, they have, and they needed it. As Ange Postecoglou said, I think after Villa gave them the 2 days off, and then there was another day later in the week, and to not have a match as Harry Maguire goes in with a challenge with Tell, the Tottenham number 11, and Maguire, yes he was just tripped there by Tell, who didn't like it, but it's a free kick to Manchester United, and Bentancur has sat down. Was there a coming together with Xerxes? Might have been.
He is, yeah. I thought he sat down because maybe his son, you know when you get a muscular injury and you're shaking your head, but I think it was a contact with Xerxes and he wanted a free kick, so he's not happy with the referee.
Well, I know those protesting Tottenham fans are talking about having a sit-down protest, but I don't think that was part of it.
No, definitely not.
Free kick for Manchester United. Here's Dorgu, low socks. There's plenty of them now, aren't there? The low socks contingent.
Fashionable, isn't it?
I saw quite
John?
A lot of them at Crystal Palace Everton last night.
Yes,
as well.
It's very fashionable.
It is very. Long pass forward for Højlund, who's got a lot to prove. Højlund not scored in his last 14 appearances. Garnacho, believe it or not, has not scored in his last 17 appearances.
And that's why Man United have been struggling. Their attacking players have not been delivering regularly enough. Yeah,
Tottenham have their top scorer, Brennan Johnson, back among the substitutes, 12-goal top scorer, as this Amad Diallo-less Manchester United lose possession. Ben Davies and then Bergvall, a teenage Swede. A reminder that there's plenty of youth in this Tottenham setup as well, the way that things are, but more of the experienced players back. Here Spence, Bruno Fernandes committed himself, missed the ball, so Spence is able to give it to Son. Spence has a wander forward, Son is still in possession, and Son then goes back towards the halfway line. Remember in that 4-3 how Son scored direct from the corner when Bergvall was making a nuisance of himself against Bayinda, the goalkeeper, who's also on the injured list for Manchester United, so he's not involved. That's why the substitute goalkeeper today, as the ball is played over the top for Son, but he won't reach that. It bounces through to Onana, who's able to clear. Yeah, Manchester United's substitute goalkeeper is 18-year-old Eli Harrison today, 19 on Wednesday. So if anything happens to Onana,
he's got to carry on.
Yeah,
basically.
Which is not to suggest that Eli Harrison, England under-19 international, wouldn't have the temperament to come into this. Xerxes slips as he comes off the field next to Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou, who's got a pair of gloves on. Clinton, he must agree with you. Cold afternoon.
Oh, it's a cold one.
Yeah. Long one forward from Harry Maguire. This is for Højlund to chase, and he's away from Ben Davies into the penalty area on the right hand side, cutting in now, left foot shot. Vicario had to make a save. That was straight at him, but he was hit with force and power by Højlund, so save. But then Garnacho with the effort, that's saved. Dalot across, and somehow Højlund in the middle. There were two defenders there. Ben Davies got there first, I think, Hoyland was virtually on the goal line, but Dalot couldn't pick him out. Dalot might have gone for goal himself. Dalot now crossing, and it's headed behind at the near post by Ben Davies. Corner Manchester United.
Yeah, it all starts from Ben Davies. It's a race with Hoyland, and he's not quick enough, Ben Davies, to play centre half. I think he thinks Vicario's coming out. He kind of stops, but Vicario makes a great double save. The first one from Hoyland's good, but the second one, I think, from Garnacho's outstanding. But you're right, John. Dalot should have probably sorted his feet. It should be 1-0 United, but Davies has to be prepared, and Vicario has to play keeper sweeper there.
Yeah, it's a corner to Manchester United. Dalot, the angle was very tight from him when he tried to just square it across the goal for Hoyland, but there were two defenders there and Davies cleared it away. Here's the corner over the top of Maguire. I think it was being impeded by Danzo, but Dorgu will try a shot, but that's quite wild from the edge of the area. Went for glory and hit it wide and high as well by probably 5 or 6 yards. Goal kick Tottenham.
Yeah, it's been a good start from Man United, a really good start. The save, as I said, from Vicario, Tottenham have missed him, and that save was outstanding, but he should have came out earlier and probably helped Ben Davies.
Yeah, it is one of those matches, isn't it? I seem to say it very often, but you know, the first goal in this one will really set a tone. And Tottenham, who conceded early, that was so costly in the FA Cup at Aston Villa last weekend, the mistake by Kinski.
Yep.
And ended up losing, even though Tell scored his first Tottenham goal at the end of the match. Garnacho pass didn't help him actually from Bruno Fernandes, and he miscontrolled it out for a throw into Tottenham 10 yards inside their own half. So Tottenham, this up and down season that they're having, I'm calling it boom bust. This Tottenham season, they've lost 5 of their last 8 in all competitions. And while we talk about Manchester United, and yes, Son swings a ball out to Porro, who just has to backtrack slightly and chest the ball down. Then it comes infield to Bentancur, and the Uruguayan actually shuffles it out towards the right hand side. Pedro Porro is inside them though, in a more central position, and then he skips round Casemiro too easily. Bentancur with the cross to the back post. Son shoots across goal, deflected to Bergwijn. Bergwijn shot, and then a save, and it's in from Maddison in the 6-yard box. James Maddison, on his return to the team, gives Tottenham the early lead. That is just what they and Ange Postecoglou wanted. Maddison with a goal, 12 minutes on the clock. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0.
Yeah, it's been a good start. It's a good ball from Bentancur. They don't deal with it at the back post, man. You can't leave someone like Son. Once he has a shot, it deflects back, and Bergwijn has a shot, and Onana makes a save. I have to see the replay. Can he get a stronger hand? But credit to Maddison. He's the first one to react and tap it into an empty net. Good start from Tottenham.
Well, Clinton, listen to the roar here.
Yeah, he reacts, John.
Despite that, Clinton, I noticed that a banner has been unveiled on the far side, even after Tottenham have taken the lead. And I can certainly read Levy out on the banner at the bottom.
I've been hearing a few, they've been singing a few stuff, but it's been drowned out by majority of the fans clapping. But yeah, I can see it was a banner that said at the bottom of it, Levy out.
And that has now quickly been taken down over there. However, we've had James Maddison's darts throwing celebration. He just got in there first, didn't he, after the initial shot from Bergwijn was parried. Onana diving down to his left. Could he have done better, Onana, there? I think he was at full stretch.
He was at full stretch. It was a good strike from Bergwijn, and maybe he'll be disappointed he doesn't parry it further away. Parries it back into the danger. But fair play, none of the Man United defenders react. It's Maddison who's on the front foot, and as I say, in them positions you have to react on the front foot, and it's a simple tap-in.
They needed that, Tottenham, after what had been an entertaining start to the match. The fact that Spurs had started strongly, but Manchester United had just had that good spell. Vicario had made the 2 saves, and you know, the nerves would probably be starting then. But next attack, that happens, and Tottenham are in front here against Manchester United, who, yes, they lost at home to Crystal Palace in their last Premier League match, but they have won 4 of their last 5 matches in all competitions. Manchester United, despite their position in the table, it is 15th against 14th, as I've said, but with the injuries and all of the disruption and the illness as well, and here they are now 1-0 down. Ball played up towards Hoyland, and you're absolutely right, Clinton. Of course you were. it is not going to be 0-0.
Never going to be 0-0. Not with these two teams, that's for sure.
And that makes it 81 matches under Ange Postecoglou without a 0-0 draw. As Tottenham, Porro's ball to De Ligt. De Ligt, by the way, is playing as the left-sided central defender, and Mazraoui on the right. So last week it was the other way around, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the other way around.
So Mazraoui and Dalot were on the same flank,
side, yep.
And now Mazraoui's come across as the right-sided central defender. He's played in some positions, hasn't he? Mazraoui.
He's been good though. I think, John, he's been a good signing for Man United.
Yeah, his 33rd appearance, his 33rd start for Manchester United in this busy season. Still in the FA Cup, Europa League. And here he is, Mazraoui now, the Moroccan World Cup player, playing it back to Onana, who passes it out to Dalot, who touches it back to Mazraoui. Pass to Bruno Fernandes, who felt the presence of James Maddison, collapsed to the ground and won a free kick.
Yeah, he just left a little bit on him, James Maddison. He's thinking, I don't want to chase him.
He did. And that's double figures for Maddison this season, incidentally. Goals for Tottenham, his 10th goal of the season, 9 of them in the Premier League. He has Dorgu now, Patrick Dorgu. He's got support there on the outside from Garnacho, who comes infield. Garnacho then lays it back to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes all the way across here to the right. Diogo Dalot. Dalot up against Spence. It's now a packed penalty area. Tottenham have got men back, so it goes back to Casemiro, who lifts the ball back out to Dorgu, gets that down. Dorgu, that's a dangerous looking ball, but Danso was able to knee it away, and Casemiro actually, with the ball bouncing rather awkwardly in front of him, goes back to the halfway line. It's actually quite blustery as well this afternoon. It's really swirling around the ground. Dorgu now from the pass from Maguire on the left hand side. Tottenham are leading by 1-0. The early goal from James Maddison. Casemiro's crossfield pass, that is pinpoint right to the feet of Dalot. But Manchester United, the Tottenham defence is well drilled in position, and Manchester United go infield. Dalot to Casemiro, who I think knew he was losing possession, went down, and I think referee Banks got that one right. No free kick, Tottenham breakaway. Here's Kulusevski up against De Ligt, only 15 yards inside the half. Dorgu is back, putting him under pressure, so he has to go back into the centre circle.
That's the one thing you say. Kulusevski's been Tottenham's best player this season. If he had pace, John, it'd be world class. I think he's a fantastic footballer. He just lacks that yard of pace.
1-0 to Tottenham. James Maddison, producer George tells me that Maddison also, as well as his darts throwing celebration, Danso's pass over the top, Pedro Porro pulls that down, then drags it back just outside the Manchester United box. Little pass to Bentancur. Spence allows it to run very, very coolly, and so into the path of Maddison. Son near the left corner of the penalty area. Maddison's there, back to Spence again, and Spence with his white socks pulled right up over his knees. Spence's cross into the penalty area. Tell back to Kulusevski onto his left foot. Maguire went to ground and was fortunate there that he was still in the right position to block the shot from Kulusevski, which he did. Maddison now. Tottenham are pressing for a second goal here. Spence on the left hand side. Spence, Son's ball into the area, double ricochet on the edge of the box. Casemiro was able to get there and angle the pass to Xerxes, who's hoping he's going to be fouled, and he is.
Yeah, he is. He needed it, to be fair. They're under pressure, Man United.
Quick free kick, Manchester United, but Garnacho's in an offside position, and a huge ovation and a cheer for the assistant referee, Eddie Smart, who went for the early flag because he was so far offside. Yes, James Maddison, I don't know whether you spotted it, Clinton, as well as throwing the imaginary dart, also gave it a shush.
Yeah, I did see the shush. I was wondering why. Who is he shushing?
Yes, well, I was going to ask you that question.
I don't know. Tottenham fans have been all right with him, so I don't understand who he's shushing at the moment. Maybe he's shushing people that are maybe having a go at him.
Well, he hasn't played for 5 matches.
Maybe it's someone who I used to play with.
Oh.
An Irishman.
I see. Yes, I think I might know who you mean.
Okay.
Here is Spence moving in from the left-hand side. Bergvall, 25 yards. Oh, didn't shoot. And that meant that Garnacho and De Ligt were able to step into position to stop his progress. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0 here in North London at the Tottenham Stadium. And I think it is full time in the day's Super League match, the first Sunday afternoon Super League match of the season. Dave Woods.
It is, and it has finished Huddersfield 12, Warrington 20. For a long time in the game, Huddersfield looked like they might spring a surprise. They were leading 6-4 at half-time, possibly should have been better, but Warrington a different animal in the second half. They looked a lot more connected in attack. Matty Ashton, Toby King and latterly Matt Duffy with tries that seals Warrington's first win of the season and condemns Huddersfield to that first defeat. Huddersfield 12, Warrington 20.
A different animal, maybe a wolf in sheep's clothing, but now just a wolf, the Warrington Wolves. And they'll just be wrapping things up on Sports Extra, where you will have heard the commentary, and later on Sports Extra, by the way, Manchester City Liverpool 6:45 in the Women's Super League after, well, there's no doubt what was the most eye-catching result earlier, Arsenal's 5-0 win against Tottenham in the lunchtime match. But all of the highlights will be on the Women's Football Show tonight. They're expecting over 55,000 people at the Emirates for that one, and a handsome win for Arsenal. So highlights tonight, BBC One after Match of the Day 2, and any time on the iPlayer. You will see James Maddison's goal if you watch Match of the Day tonight, scoring in the 13th minute here as Tottenham have a free kick, middle of the Manchester United half, and here's Ben Davies as they go back to the halfway line. James Maddison is tackled by Bruno Fernandes, but is able to recover and get the ball back and then play it forward to Spence, who might have been pulled back there, and then Bentancur's in on the challenge on Højlund, who's left on the ground, but then Spence gives it away. Harry Maguire stepping forward, and Harry Maguire still going, and Harry Maguire gives it to Højlund, and Højlund's into the box on the right hand side, plays it across behind Xerxes into the path of Kulusevski, and the Tottenham man, a very relieved Tottenham man, can pass it away, but it's bounced off Son, and now Mazraoui is moving forward. Xerxes, the tall Xerxes, into Højlund, 25 yards out, but he's forced further away from the penalty area. Now Dorgu to Xerxes on the edge of the box. Bergvall comes across, Xerxes onto his right foot, goes for the curling shot across the face of goal, but even though Vicario dived down to his left, I think he was confident it was bouncing wide.
Yeah, we praise Spence, but when he loses it there, he has to get back. He was ambling back. You have to sprint back. That's the difference when I see that players nowadays. When you lose the ball, you've got to recover. You have to show desire to get back. Son lost it there. He showed desire to get back.
Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. And it is Manchester United again with Bruno Fernandes. Now there's space here. Garnacho, he's put it over the bar. It really opened up for him there. Kevin Danso dived across, but I mean, it was one-on-one. Garnacho, left side of the penalty area, and he puts his hands on his face, lifts the shot over the crossbar, Clinton.
Yeah, I don't know where Tottenham's backline are. They're all over the place, but it's a great ball from Fernandes. He has to score, Garnacho. He has to add more goals to his game. We talk about he's exciting. He has to start scoring goals like that, and that's nowhere near good enough. He has to work Vicario, but it's a brilliant pass from Bruno Fernandes.
I mean, it wasn't just over.
It was way over. It's still coming down now.
High over the crossbar into the south stand. Snatched at it. You know, a forward player who is in the goals would probably have buried that.
Yeah, you scored that. And you know what? You always told us a striker, just hit the target. He's leaning back, and it just looks like someone who's low on confidence at the moment, but it's a great opportunity. The pass from Fernandes is brilliant. Takes a good touch. You have to work Vicario, find the bottom of the net.
Well, they've had chances, Manchester United, but yet to find the back of the net, and Ruben Amorim is pacing around there. He cuts rather a frustrated figure, I must say. Ruben Amorim, just 20 matches in charge so far. He has Dorgu, one of their January signings. Now Garnacho has to shrug that off, and he lifts a pass to Dalot. Dalot's ball sort of volleyed across the 6-yard box, kept in by Dorgu, and his cross, actually it was out, says the assistant down to our right. Goal kick. It was caught by Vicario anyway, and Vicario takes a quick goal kick, and Bergvall now, the blonde-haired Swede, is already into Manchester United territory, roared on by the Tottenham crowd. Still Bergvall, who cuts back in field, and now Manchester United have got red shirts back. Goal scorer Maddison, square to Spence. Spence, they wanted him to shoot, he gives it instead to his left to Son. Son is in the box, tried to play a little ball through, but Dalot was able to get a touch on that, and Bruno Fernandes as well. And Bruno Fernandes rolls it into the space on the left hand side. Manchester United attempting to come from 1-0 down, and here they come sweeping forward. Dogu using Garnacho, who begins to drift infield. Bruno Fernandes arrives, but Tottenham are now back in numbers. Bruno Fernandes shoots straight into Bentancur, and then Tell is caught there by Casemiro, who was rather done by Tell. The ball had already gone, but Casemiro was in and fouled him, and it's a free kick to Tottenham halfway inside their own half.
The game's open though. I don't think, Tottenham are always open, aren't they? They just go gung-ho. They will just go forward and leave big gaps at the back. But Man United be disappointed they're not level, because they're a threat on the counter-attack at the moment.
Tottenham Hotspur 1, Manchester United 0. World Service are with us as well. BBC World Service listeners, welcome to you. It's a cold afternoon in the capital, and even though we had about half an hour of blue sky, that's disappeared as Danso plays it back towards the edge of the penalty area. No rain, unlike Selhurst Park last night.
Oh yeah, that looked cold. John, when does summer come?
Feels as though it's a long way off yet.
When you tell me, I believe everything you told me. So when you say it, then I'll start getting the t-shirts out. It's too cold at the moment.
Here's Maddison, long pass. That's a good ball as well to Son in the area. Son pulls it back. Left foot shot from Tellen. Onana's able to go down and push it away to his right, round the post. Corner. Nicely struck by Tell, kept out by Onana.
Yeah, it's a good ball from Maddison. It's a great run from Son, and Son does ever so well. And what Tell does, he just pulls out like good strikers. No one goes with him, and it's a save Onana should make, but it would be good. That would be good confidence for him.
Tottenham with a corner from the left-hand side. Son, as the Tottenham supporters sing their famous song. Son takes the corner into the near post, which headed down by Casemiro, only out to Kulusevski. Kulusevski, tight angle, back outside the box from him to Maddison, and then Bentancur is there in his black boots. Bentancur gets it back, right-footed ball right across the penalty area, but it drops over Tell and bounces out into the full-back position where Mazraoui puts in the challenge, and it's out of play for what is given as a throw-in to Manchester United. Final touch off Tell. I was saying last weekend, Clinton, it is amusing me commentating on Tottenham when there is a player called Kell. Takes me back to the Terry Venables days.
Exactly, El Tell, legend, God rest his soul.
Yes, Tottenham have got another Tell now. Last time Manchester United had the double done over them, i.e. lost both league matches in the same season to Tottenham, the Spurs manager was Terry Venables. It was that long ago, 89-90.
Brilliant manager.
Yeah, and great character. Very much missed, and Manchester United take the throw back towards the edge of their penalty area. Mazraoui now with Dalot, back to Mazraoui again, and then Onana, who's now made a couple of saves, but the save that he made from Bergvall landed at the feet of Maddison, who was able to pop it into the net in the 6-yard box. Maddison gets it back, plays it back to Bergvall, now out to Pedro Porro. Porro thought about the cross. Bergvall, here's Bentancur 25 yards out, slips the ball into the box. Kulusevski chasing, but Matthijs de Ligt was able to get his feet sorted out and clear it away before Kulusevski could ghost in, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Tottenham down this left-hand side, which is taken to Tell, who helpfully for the commentators, Matthijs Tell is sort of wearing a strapping, isn't he, on his right wrist, which certainly picks him out in terms of identification. Here's Bergvall through to Porro, now to the right-hand side, and Kulusevski is there, back to Porro. Porro continued his run, the cross across the box, it's cleared away by Diogo Dalot inside the 6-yard area. Effective ball across. If Tottenham had had someone in there, as Porro uses Danso again. Danso infield to Bentancur, and now Spence as well. Tottenham zipping the passes around in the Manchester United defensive third. It's been a good performance from Tottenham so far, with all of the pressure piled on them. But in saying that, Manchester United have had chances and not been able to take them at the other end. Bergvall back to Kulusevski again. Bergvall then drops his shoulder and goes past Casemiro. Pedro Porro puts his foot on the ball, and this is a good period of possession from Tottenham. Manchester United can't get the ball off them.
No, they can't. But you say earlier, John, about the play down the right hand side between Kulusevski and Porro. That is where I think the game's going, where number 9s don't like to stay in the box and get across. It's a tap-in, simple tap-in. If Tell stays in there, he scores a tap-in, and I think number 9s like to come out the box too much and do their work.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that Matthijs Tel, probably not seen enough of him yet, but I'm not sure he's that sort of.
No, he's not a Solanke. No, he wants to come and drop deep, link the play. That's why I think he can play off one of the wings as well.
Yeah, did see him play for Bayern Munich, where they rated him very, very highly, and they were very keen for him to get more football, the Bayern Munich supporters last season.
Yep.
United break, Xerxes, now to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes ball across the penalty area, but Bentancur was back in there and able to volley it back out to the side from where it came, and actually found Spence, and Spence over the halfway line uses Son on the left wing. Again, there's no one in the penalty area for Tottenham. Son then tries to take it past Mazraoui, is able to keep possession, but now Manchester United are back, and that was a great example of it, wasn't it? Just when Son wanted someone inside the penalty area, as a challenge on Maddison by Maguire, no free kick. Maddison's furious about that, but Tottenham nevertheless have possession back in the centre circle.
Yeah, they do
have a case.
Yeah, he did have a case, and Harry Maguire looked a bit sheepish and told him to get up, but it was a good little 1-2 between Tell and Maddison. It looked like there's a good understanding between the two of them at the moment, but Man United can't get hold of possession.
Yeah, it's a bit sheepish, like those wolves in sheep's clothing. As Porro gives it back to Danso nearer the halfway line. Kevin Danso, this is his home debut as well, his third appearance, the loan signing, the central defender, the Austrian international, who Tottenham have taken from loans. That might become a permanent deal as well, like Matthijs Tel. And Kulusevski, under pressure on the halfway line, actually plays the ball all the way back towards the edge of the penalty area. Ange Postecoglou will be satisfied enough with this, watching his team attack again. Spence and then Son. Spurs leading through the James Maddison goal, on course to make it 3 wins out of 3 against Manchester United this season. Postecoglou's not lost against Manchester United as the Tottenham manager, and if you remember, his first win as the Spurs manager right at the start of last season was a 2-0 win here against United. Ball into the box for Bentancur. Bentancur then tried to lay it back to the edge of the box for Porro, and in the end it was deflected behind by De Ligt for another Tottenham corner from the right.
Yeah, they're dominating Tottenham. Man United need to stay in the game, even though Man United have probably had the best chances where they should be level, but they can't get no sustained pressure or with the ball, and it's all Tottenham at the moment, who look really good. But when you're on top, John, you have to get that second goal.
Yep. So it's a corner from the right, and we have 3 Tottenham players around the penalty spot. Danso and Davis are both there with Bentancur, and then Bergvall and Son in the box. Here's the delivery of the near post. Maguire goes for it, rattles around. Bergvall with a chance, but it wouldn't come down. He shot over the top on the turn, but in any case the whistle had gone. It's a free kick to Manchester United, and Bergvall is helping Casemiro to his feet. That's very thoughtful from the 19-year-old to help,
showing the respect to his elders. And plus he fouled him. He just tried to roll him. Casemiro tried to get in front, rolled him. The referee was always going to give that decision, but he started well. Bergvall, he's full of energy, been in and out of the team this year, but he's got huge potential. I do like him in midfield.
Yeah, 15th start. It's about the same actually. 15 starts this is, and 17 times he's come off the bench. And offside flag against Manchester United, so a free kick to
That's
Tottenham.
Criminal. You can't be offside from a free kick there, John, surely.
Were you ever offside, Clinton?
Yeah, and I used to get hammered by my teammates. I'm a manager, so that's why I'm saying you can't do it. So I can do it now because I'm sat up here.
Yes. I bet if you did that when Neil Warnock was your manager, as you were talking before the game.
I said to him, go and talk to the 4th official, Gaffer, because you get more joy out of them.
Very good. As Tottenham go back to the edge of the area. I think weren't you and I here when Tottenham beat Manchester United last season?
Yeah, we were.
I thought that was the case, and that was very much during the honeymoon period, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
As Maddison is committing a foul on Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, this Mazraoui, this time in the centre circle, and it's a free kick to Manchester United in the centre circle. Yes, remember last season the way that they started? They were top of the table going into November last season, Tottenham.
Quite excited. Yeah. Too excited, John.
Tottenham fans. With when he went unbeaten in his first 10 Premier League matches. As Bruno Fernandes now takes this free kick. Oh, Maguire. Dear. I hope that isn't on Match of the Day tonight if Harry Maguire's watching.
What, the good and the bad?
Yes.
Is that the good? Too good, too bad. Too good, too bad. The run was good, but the touch was bad, John.
It was delivered brilliantly by Bruno Fernandes over the top of Harry Maguire, who lost his footing and then fell over as he volleyed it straight through for a goal kick. Here's Tottenham breaking forward. Harry Maguire's back in more comfortable territory inside his own penalty area. Oh, that's poor ball from Spence. Although Kulusevski keeps it in near the corner flag and has succeeded in winning a throw-in of Dorgu, who went there with him. And Tottenham go back towards the halfway line. Yes, remember the first defeat last season for Tottenham in the Premier League was the 4-1 here, that chaotic 4-1 against Chelsea. Yeah. And since then, I mean, the record in the Premier League, as Bentancur will bring it forward and give it to Porro. Porro drives it across, but I mean, no one's going to get on the end of that, and it's out of play for a goal kick to Manchester United.
Well, yeah, that's just to get up his stats that he's delivered a cross into the box, because you're right, there's no chance anyone was getting on the end of that. The ball in was listen, it's a ball you want to put in if you're on the byline, but no one was catching up with that.
Tottenham's record since that first defeat in the Premier League last season, it's now 25 defeats in their last 52 Premier League matches.
Wow.
Which is why they are in 15th place, although that of course includes last season as well. Manchester United take a goal kick out across the back line, forward from Mazraoui, headed back towards the Manchester United box by Bentancur. It's 1-0 to Tottenham if he's just joined us on 5 Live or the World Service. And if you're listening on the World Service, to answer Clinton's question, spring is deemed to start at the vernal equinox, which is near the 20th of March. So there we are.
I'm hibernating for the next month then. Only to come here and do my job.
So you're not going to be appearing in any media at all for the next month?
That's a lie.
Here's Casemiro through the middle. Oh, look to be taken out by Ben Davies there. The referee allowed play to continue, but then absolutely right, he brings it back. Just waited to see if there was an advantage, which we saw Anthony Taylor do to varying degrees of success last night. But, you know, it is the right thing to do. Yeah, and correctly here, Peter Banks brings this back for a free kick.
Yeah, I think it's the right decision. Davis is late on Casemiro. Casemiro's pass doesn't find Garnacho, so really good decision by the referee.
But you're right, it's been a cold winter, and it's been cold comfort for Tottenham and Manchester United. But Spurs have played well. They've scored the only goal so far. And Manchester United, with all of these injuries, again, if you've just switched on, they've got the most inexperienced bench I think it's almost possible to have. I'm wondering if they've ever named a more inexperienced bench, Manchester United, apart from Lindelof. But they've got a free kick here, and really they'll feel they should be level. Bruno Fernandes takes this in, clips it in, and Vicario is clattered by De Ligt. Goes down, flags up as well, but I think it would have been given as a foul anyway by De Ligt on Vicario.
I think you're right. You know what it's like, you can't challenge it. De Ligt's offside anyway, but you can't challenge goalkeepers like that. I think Vicario came and De Ligt just catches him on his arm, and that is a foul.
Yeah, I think that was quite a straightforward decision. I think even Paul Robinson would have agreed with that. He's here today. He's going to be with me in Madrid this week. Might be a bit warmer in Madrid.
Yeah, I saw you two talking. I was slightly a bit jealous, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that's Wednesday night. Join us for that. As Tottenham win a free kick, Spence wins a free kick halfway inside his own half. Yep, those big Champions League second legs in the playoff. Bayern Munich, Celtic on Tuesday night. Ian Dennis will be there live from Germany with a commentary, and then live from Spain Wednesday night. Real Madrid against Manchester City, as Manchester United now win a free kick for Bentancur.
Madrid
challenge.
City, you got, yeah, John? That's where you are, aren't you?
Yes,
big
Real
game,
Madrid,
big
Manchester
game.
City.
A bit disappointing that City are not leading that game after the last few minutes of that game, but I think there's still a lot to play for in that game.
I think yesterday's puts a slightly different slant on
Madrid getting a draw, and young Bellingham getting sent off.
Yeah, he'll be able to play next week now. on Wednesday, though. Marmouche with his hat-trick. Free kick. Bruno Fernandes then lifts this one forward. Casemiro pulls it down and then volleys it high across the box. Maguire goes for it. Actually, now Højlund jumps for it. Doesn't make any contact. It bounces down, and Spence, rather relieved Spence, is able to volley it away. We've got 5 minutes to go of the first half. Manchester United are trying to draw level before the break. Casemiro's header along the edge of the Tottenham box, but Bentancur is able to move into position, and then Son is fouled by a sliding Casemiro. He'll be fortunate to avoid a yellow card for that, I would say. Certainly a free kick for Tottenham, and that looked quite nasty actually, and Casemiro has stayed down, but it was a clumsy looking challenge into the back of Son, who I thought seemed to twist rather awkwardly as he went down.
Yeah, I think that might be the injury. I think it's good pace from Son, and Casemiro's thinking, I'm not getting there, I'm trying to make, and there was a foul. Oh yeah, it looked like his knee might have twisted. It's the way he's landed, Son, on that, or his back ankle just gets stuck in the ground where Casemiro catches him late. Hopefully he's all right.
Clinton, just on Son, his form this season, because I think you were the first person I heard to actually question him this season.
Yeah, he's been poor. Listen, I think Son's a world-class player, and I said, like, what he's done at Tottenham has been fantastic, but I think when you see someone's not delivering regular, especially when Tottenham have all them injuries, I think they are so relying on him. He just wasn't delivering. I'm thinking chances he's missed as well. So yeah, he's not been to the standard that we set, but that is because he sets so high standards, John.
Well, he's okay, I'm pleased to say, or at least he is on his feet, and he's just trotting away from the scene of the foul, for which Casemiro has been yellow carded, which is the right decision.
Yeah, it is the right decision. He's late.
4 minutes of the first half to play. Tottenham, Ange Postecoglou would absolutely love to have this scoreline, or better, at half-time. James Maddison scoring after Bergval's shot was saved by a diving Onana, but could only parry it, and Maddison was in very quickly. Threw his imaginary dart, shushed someone. I'm not entirely sure. Do you know what he said?
No, I know that I've seen there's a few things that have been said, so I didn't know. But obviously, I don't think who he's saying that about would be bothered that he's shushing him, to be fair.
Yeah. And
I think our producer will find out what he said.
I can see George's fingers whirring away as Danso will bring the ball forward. We'll have more reaction, by the way, from Anfield. Liverpool's 2-1 win against Wolves at half-time, and the lines will be open for 606 as well at the break. Maddison turns away from Manchester United, uses Son's right-footed ball into the penalty area, comes off Maguire's head, loops in the air, but Onana's able to come and make a comfortable catch, and overarms it out to Dorgu, but that was charged down by Porro, and the ball bounces out of play for a throw in to Manchester United. It's probably worth, people might have tuned in since the start of the match and not heard the Manchester United substitutes bench, this extremely inexperienced substitutes bench, as Manchester United, and Nana passes it out. That needed a pinpoint pass. Dalot then put under pressure, forward from Mazraoui. Bruno Fernandes has Maddison with him. Casemiro passes it out of play under pressure, but nevertheless it's out of play for a throw in to Tottenham. Manchester United's bench today, as well as Victor Lindelof, they have Aidan Heaven, recently signed from Arsenal, Harry Amas, Sekou Kone, Tyler Fredrickson, Chido Obi, Jack Fletcher, one of Darren Fletcher's twins, Jack Moorhouse and Eli Harrison. Here's Spence. So if Manchester United continue to trail or concede another one, Spence winning a free kick on the left-hand side, Ruben Amorim has really only got inexperience to go at.
He has, but sometimes, like, if that's all you've got, you go and say to the youngsters, if you're losing, go and throw a few of them on. Like, go and see if you can make something happen. The 11 that have started at the moment are doing okay, but they're missing big chances in the final third, so hopefully they've got some good attacking players that can come on and maybe make a difference. And
before the match today, Ruben Amorim said the young kids have less responsibility and they are good players.
Exactly that.
And however, they wouldn't want to go 2-0 down, and Son has this free kick after Spence was fouled on the left-hand side. Son to take this, steps away, 3-4 strides. Now he's closer to the white line than he is to the ball. Son raises his left arm and with his right foot delivers this into the penalty area where it's headed away for Manchester United by Bruno Fernandes. Comes back into the box. Bruno Fernandes is underneath that as well and volleys it high into the middle of the half. Xerxes takes that down and then in comes Bruno Fernandes, blasts the ball into Son. It ricochets away downfield. Højlund challenged by Davis. Ball runs for Xerxes. He's away from Bentancur, then drags it back beautifully. Great piece of skill there. But then Bruno Fernandes is dispossessed by James Maddison. He'll have enjoyed that. There's been a bit of a tussle between the two of them. James Maddison, and then advancing for Tottenham, and then Tell is challenged, and the ball is back with Manchester United. And United coming forward with Dorgu, who wins a free kick inside his own half. Producer George has found the Roy Keane criticism, Clinton. There's 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half. I'll tell you that in a moment. Manchester United in possession, go back to Casemiro. Roy Keane on James Maddison said, quote, "People say Maddison's the man. When is he going to step up to the plate? He got relegated with Leicester and he'll get relegated with Spurs." It's a bit harsh.
I'm not sure if he gets relegated with Spurs.
He said he's good, he's a talented player, but if you're a player in the Spurs dressing room and Maddison's back in the squad, you wouldn't be looking and going, "We're going to be fine." England have a squad of 300 and he can't even get into that.
This is Roy just doing Roy stuff.
Yeah. So I think we may have found
why. I thought it was my old teammate. I did tell you that. I did tell you. I think it is him. That is right.
Well, he was in the England squad for the Euros. No, for the World Cup.
He was, yeah.
But didn't get in for the Euros. And there is the half-time whistle, and Maddison will be happy enough if it stays like this. He's the goal scorer, coming back after a 5-match absence, and he was in there where it mattered. He did what mattered today. He scored the goal, 1-0 at half-time.
Yeah, but Man United probably be disappointed. They've created 2 golden opportunities, but Tottenham have dominated. They've been the better team. Probably disappointed they've not worked Onana. Should be maybe going in possibly 2-0 up, but yeah, Maddison's been the difference.
Yeah, and the chances for Manchester United, the save from Højlund and from Garnacho as well. And then that chance that Garnacho had, which was the big opportunity.
Oh, that's the best chance, John. You're spot on. It's a golden opportunity. He has to be hitting the target.
But just the 1 goal so far here in cold North London, where it is Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0.
And Clinton, there are great wide open spaces wherever you look. I can't help but feel that neither of them are looking especially good right now in the round. It just happens that Tottenham are the ones who've scored.
Yeah, you're right. I think Tottenham have been a better team. I just think, but both the spaces are open. You saw it with the Garnacho opportunity. Where are the defenders? Like, you're thinking one pass splits the whole of the defence, and he's in on goal. So you're spot on there, Crossy. And me and John said it in commentary, whoever scores the first goal, you got something to hold on to. Man United now have to come out, and Tottenham can counter-attack and maybe make it 2-0. But yeah, you're right. You can see it's 2 teams that are struggling massively at the moment.
We got a load of reaction to get through. Otherwise, we could probably easily chat for 5 or 6 minutes about that first half. So Clinton, John, thank you very much. Obviously, second half commentary to come from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 1, Manchester United 0. We've got more reaction on the way to Liverpool 2. Wolves won the score in our first commentary on 5 Live Premier League Sunday. We'll also have reaction from the WSL and the Scottish Premiership, all after the news on 5 Live with Jill McKenzie.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
A Ukraine government source says they haven't been invited to talks between the US and Russia in Saudi Arabia. European leaders aren't involved either. They're meeting in France tomorrow for an emergency summit. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's working closely with the United States to make President Trump's plan for Gaza a reality. He said the proposal to take over the territory and remove its Palestinian population was a bold vision. It's been criticised by Palestinians and Arab nations and would also violate international law. The Home Office says 240 people crossed the Channel yesterday in 4 small boats. The government says it'll stop at nothing to tackle people smuggling gangs. And the BAFTA Film Awards have started in London with David Tennant hosting. Conclave leads the way with 12 nominations, followed by Emilia Perez and The Brutalist.
Vincent Kompany is a Premier League legend.
Goal from the Manchester City captain. They'll remember that for years and years and years.
And now he's an up-and-coming head coach who's had a meteoric rise from Anderlecht, promotion and relegation with Burnley, to being appointed at one of the biggest clubs in world football.
Bayern Munich have confirmed the appointment of Vincent Kompany.
It feels like Kompany is the golden boy in football management right now, and I want to find out why.
He's been a trailblazer quite a lot of his life, quite a lot of his career.
This is Football Daily. Vincent Kompany, the golden boy. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport.
With Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Second half commentary on the way already today. Liverpool have moved 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League with a 2-1 victory over Wolves at Anfield. Here's the Liverpool boss Arne Slot with Rob Schofield.
Arne, well, I mean, how that second half went, how much relief is there in those 3 points?
Yeah, of course a lot, because it was a difficult second half for many reasons. First of all, because Wolves did really well. Second of all, we had some mentally some difficult moments to handle. We scored a goal. We thought we scored a goal, was offside, correct decision. We thought we had the third goal with a penalty, was turned over by the VAR. Again, correct decision in my opinion. And then immediately afterwards they scored the 2-1. So it's always difficult if you think you go 3 up and then all of a sudden you're 2-1 down, with 3 days ago having to defend the lead at Everton, and we thought we did really well till the last second of the game where we conceded. So again, great mentality from the players, like Wednesday evening, great mentality today again.
Do you think that sense of nervousness was almost always very likely given the week that you've had?
That, but maybe even more if a game is 2-0, everybody feels like, I don't think many fans were at halftime like it's going to be difficult. I constantly warn them at halftime, it's not done yet, because you know if it's going to be 2-1, everything is open again, and I'm long enough in football to know that if it's 2-1, the momentum is mostly for the team that just scored the 2-1, and that's also what you could see. The momentum was not ours anymore, it was more their game than ours in the last 20 minutes. But we managed to survive by great mentality. If you look at the way how Virgil defended the free kick, he threw himself in front of the ball. And that mentality is also needed if you want to achieve something. And then I even forget the great tackle Juraj Kwanza had when they could have scored the 2-2.
That is the Liverpool manager Arne Slot. So Wolves stay 17th in the league. They're 2 points above the relegation zone. Here's manager Vitor Pereira.
Vitor, I mean, with how that second half went, I imagine you're pretty disappointed not to come away with anything today.
You know, this is football, but I believe in a football that when we play good football, with identity, with our tools, with our qualities, we deserve to get something from football. You understand? This is. I want to win games with merit. I want to win games because we deserve to win. And the second half was fantastic, in my opinion. Was the team that I want to build. The first half was a team with respect, with a lot of respect, too much respect, in my opinion. And this is not our game. Understand? We cannot come in Anfield just to be part of the party. Okay, this is my opinion.
Interesting. Vitor Pereira, Wolves boss. 08085 909 693. The lines are open for 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. They'll be underway once we're done at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Afternoon, Rob.
Afternoon, Steve. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Do you want to go in on Spurs Man United? I have a feeling that's what's going to get people going one way or the other.
Yeah, I'll just start with Liverpool. I thought it was a great performance in terms of not the performance itself, but the result, the mentality they showed. There was such good blocks at the end. Kanate, he could have had a second yellow though, Steve. I listened to Arne Slot there.
I thought that should have been a second yellow.
Yeah. I thought it was. The VAR, they'll overturn the penalty decision. That was correct.
Yeah.
But that for Liverpool today, you know, they're in lots of competitions, but the squad was used, and to get over the line, it's all about the result. Now, never mind the performance, Liverpool, after the 2-2, the late equaliser for Everton, they showed great mentality today, and a huge plus for Arne Slot on his side. On this game here, it's so open, isn't it? It's so open. I think there'll be more goals, but Maddison dictating the play. Such a fantastic player, good goal. I think Xerxes doing okay for Manchester United. Højlund looks a threat, but there's so many spaces and gaps all over.
It's amazing,
the
isn't it? The pitch looks like double regulation size. There's so much room.
There certainly is. And listen, who's the most pressure on this game? Which team loses? If Manchester United lose, you look at Manchester United's bench, Steve, so many youngsters on it, but Ange Postecoglou will argue, he's got lots of injuries also, so it's a huge second half for both teams. And what about Borough losing yesterday? What's happening at Borough, Steve?
Oh, nobody wants to talk about that apart from me. Let me ask you this, right? With Ange Postecoglou, with all the players back, is the reality now that the whole injuries thing, whilst they still have a couple of players, if they were to lose this, and let's not forget they're winning at half time, but that's got to stop, hasn't it? There are enough players back for that reason, I'm not going to say excuse, that reason to no longer be mentioned.
Yeah, I 100% agree, Steve. You look at the quality of players coming back. The goalkeeper's back today. He's already made a couple of fantastic saves. There's got to come a point where you can't keep saying about the injuries. Listen, lots of teams have lots of injuries. Look at Manchester United now. Look at other sides. Look at Arsenal, but in the forward areas. So again, it comes a point where you cannot say we've got so many injuries. But listen, I like Ange. Ruben Amorim, it's a big second half for him, Steve. It's a big second half tactically, because Bruno Fernandes is, in that midfield, is going over to stop Spurs' left-hand side. There's so many gaps in Manchester United's midfield. But I'm looking forward. There'll be more goals, Steve, won't there?
And I'll call in at about 7:10 to talk Middlesbrough. There you go.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, I wouldn't. 08085 909 693. Lines are open. In the WSL, leaders Chelsea came from behind to beat Everton 2-1 thanks to a Lauren James stoppage time winner. So that's 26 wins from 27 for Chelsea. 7 points clear of Manchester United. And we can hear from manager Sonia Bonpastor.
It was a tough performance today, but I was expecting that, because when you play the same team 1 week after, it's always more difficult, especially for the team who is dominant. As you could see, the coach changed a little bit his shape out of possession, and we didn't have a lot of space, so we needed to create that space. But maybe today was a bit more difficult because we missed maybe some freshness in the legs, and probably it was more difficult. But if you reflect on all this block, we played 8 games in 6 weeks. So that's really tough, and I'm pleased with the result, and that's also normal. Sometimes the players are just really tired, and it's more difficult.
And can you just say a word on Lauren James? You haven't had her much in the team because of her injuries, but she's super, isn't she?
I'm so glad to have her back in the squad. Everyone in the squad is really important, but for sure when you play teams who are just waiting for you to make mistakes, and they are really narrow, compact, really low on the pitch, you need to have these creative players, and LJ is one of them. And today I think if she was not on the pitch, probably we could have not win the game, even if we are really other good players, but the talent is really helpful in that situation.
Sonia Bonpastor with Sohail Sahi. Elsewhere in the WSL, Chloe Kelly says she felt amazing in front of unbelievable support. She made her first appearance for Arsenal since coming back to the club. They beat North London rivals Tottenham 5-0 at the Emirates. Elsewhere, Manchester United 3, Crystal Palace 1, Leicester 3, Aston Villa 0, and West Ham 3, Brighton 1. Manchester City versus Liverpool is a 6:45 kickoff. In the Scottish Premiership, Rangers beat Hearts 3-1, 2 own goals in that game from Jamie McCart. So the win narrows the gap on leaders Celtic, but only to 13 points. Rangers boss Philippe Clement has been speaking to BBC Scotland's Brian McLaughlin.
Philippe, many congratulations. You asked for a response from your players. Were you happy with what you've seen today?
Yeah, and what I expected from them. So everybody was devastated after last weekend and getting all these chances and not scoring the goal, and that the performance was not good enough. So there was only one way, and that's getting a better result. What we did today, it was not our best and finest football, but everybody digged in to get the result.
It was a very open game. Was that how you expected it to be?
It was an open game also because Hearts went all in this game also with 3 very attacking players. So we knew there would be spaces for us also. And at the end, it's then about scoring more goals.
How important was that win today mentally and to try and get things back on track once again after that huge disappointment last week?
It's very important, like I said, to react. So everybody saw the reaction and that this team wants to work really hard for the colours, and we're going to work hard also to make everything better, that we get it more consistent. There's been a lot of talks about our away form, and deserved about in the first part of the season. So winning at Hearts, it's an important one. Winning at Dundee United was also an important one because they had also a really good home record. So we need to continue that way.
Philippe Clement with Brian McLaughlin. The other game in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon finished St Mirren 0, Hibs 0, so they stay 6th and 5th respectively. And in Super League, the opening weekend of the new season, which has had so many stories, which you can find on the BBC Sport website on our Rugby League page, finished with the final game, Huddersfield 12, Warrington Wolves 20. Nearly ready for second half commentary at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. John Murray and Clinton Morrison are there, and Clinton, Manchester United need a goal. Ruben Amorim looks at his bench, and what does he see?
Youngsters, but why not throw them on?
And a defender.
And a defender in Lindelof, yeah, because I'm not even thinking about Lindelof coming up, because he's not going to get you a goal. So I think this 11 have to go for as far as they can to try and get an equaliser. If not, as I said, the youngsters don't have no fear. Throw them onto a game like this. Why not?
It makes me think of when the tables were turned on Tottenham and they had similar levels of injuries. They chucked Dane Scarlett on in Europe and he scored a goal.
Yeah, he did. And Mikey Moore, he's come in, the youngster, and done well for them. So why not throw on these youngsters? You will never know if they're not good enough, Crossy, until you give them a chance. And I know it's tough circumstances, but these youngsters, this is what you live for. So if some of these youngsters get an opportunity, it'll be great for them.
I suppose you could say this has been a very good first half for Ange's injury reasoning. His goalkeeper's come back and made a couple of great saves, and Maddison has come back and scored.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and he's got his bench, he's got other players that can come on and have an impact, so I think Ange will be happy, but you have to hold on because, as you said, Crossy, Man United were pushing and created the better chances in the first half. Better finishing, they'll be level.
Right, shall we, John?
Yes, they've just shown us a shot on our screen here of the Manchester United bench, the substitutes all sitting in a line in their tracksuits, and Victor Lindelof among them. Victor Lindelof's 30 years old. He looks a bit like he's taking the sixth form for a school trip, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's the driver, isn't he?
So Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. The players are out there, Manchester United already. Tottenham are in their huddle. No changes, so Vicario in goal, made a couple of decent saves. Porro, Danzo, Davis and Spence. Bentancur, Bergvall and goal scorer Maddison. Kulusevski, Son and Tell. And Manchester United with Onana, De Ligt, Mazraoui, Maguire and De Ligt. Dalot on the right, Dorgu on the left, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes, Xerxes, Garnacho and Højlund. And Peter Banks blows his whistle, and Manchester United get the second half underway here at the Tottenham Stadium, still with hundreds, thousands of empty black seats. There are lots and lots of attractions in this stadium, but you don't want to miss too much of the action as Maddison plays it over the top down into the full-back position where Mazraoui will just make sure he passes it securely enough back to Onana, who clears, but Bergvall gets up there. Casemiro takes it down. Casemiro already on a yellow card, volleys it forward for Xerxes, who was challenged by Kulusevski and wins the free kick. Sort of bounced off his body, went down, and Kulusevski's also taken a bang in the face, so he's lying on his back as well. He's got his hands across his jaw. But it will be a free kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, I think he got one in the face from Dogu there. It is a foul. He just leaned into him, and I think he just catches him, so it will be a sore one.
Doesn't look as though he's going to need treatment. He's not. He's helped to his feet by Bergvall. So free kick to Manchester United. The captain, Bruno Fernandes, is going to take this. Bruno Fernandes, joint top scorer for Manchester United this season. The other joint top scorer, Amad Diallo, probably out for the rest of the season. Ruben Amorim said, I think so, when that was put to him before the game. Bruno Fernandes takes this in. Maguire tries to head it back across the box. Maddison didn't quite get his head to that in the way that he wanted to. Could have gone anywhere. He was fortunate it fell to a teammate, and Tottenham played up towards Tell, Matthijs Tell, who just controls it and plays it back, the 19-year-old, and then the pass forward is intercepted by Mazraoui. And Manchester United can bring it forward in the red shirts, white shorts and black socks. Bruno Fernandes with a risky pass gives it away. Tottenham, Kulusevski holds off Dorgu, and then Bergvall. Pedro Porro way down below us is chasing the ball that Bruno Fernandes back heels infield to Dorgu, and then Bergvall wins it back. Dorgu has just got there first, chips it forward. Manchester United can't get this away, it keeps coming back at them, and De Ligt is trying to see it over the line, and he very nearly got himself in a tangle there. Kulusevski almost kept the ball in and went past him, and he had to put it behind for a corner, De Ligt.
Yeah, he should have played the ball, De Ligt. He thought he was strong enough, but Kulusevski was clever, just run around the side of him and kept it in. Then he had to clear it, De Ligt. Just defend your lines, don't be clever.
So there's the roar from the south stand behind that goal, where Tottenham have the corner, first corner of the second half. Pedro Porro to take this. Son actually comes right towards him to the edge of the penalty area, but Porro delivers it, and Harry Maguire is there to head it away on the edge of the box. Back to Porro on the right. Porro's cross for Tottenham, beats Tell, bounces down at the back post. Bergvall, miss-hit, left foot shot, Tell, then the shot from Tell on the edge of the area, but didn't get any power on it, and Onana was able to go down and make a routine save to his left.
Yeah, it was. Ben Davies kept it alive, and then Bergvall had a shot. It's a good defending, but Tell was disappointing because he doesn't get it clean enough.
Maguire had to be careful there with Tell buzzing around him on the edge of his own box, and that was a neither nothing nor something from Garnacho as he tried to flick it away, missed the ball. Tottenham with Spence. Tottenham looking for the second goal that would leave them sitting pretty, 2-0 up against Manchester United, who, as we've said, have only got inexperienced players on the bench, certainly attacking players. If Manchester United found themselves 2-0 down, it would be, as they say, a big ask to get anything out of this. Danso to Kulusevski, but Danso's out of position now as Manchester United come forward, but Højlund's header in field just gives possession back to the white shirts of Tottenham. Bentancur uses the space that's there on the left hand side, and now Son on his right foot. Oh no, he's got right underneath that and mishit it by a distance up into the air beyond everyone and through for a goal kick. So a goal kick with Tottenham leading through that James Maddison goal early in the first half. This is 5 Live from the BBC. The World Service are with us as well, wherever you are, joining us here in this terrific stadium with its sleek silvery grey panels and smoked glass on the outside and 3 tiers on the inside, as Manchester United play a pass downfield, but offside flag was up, and it's a free kick to Tottenham inside their own half. And Clinton Morrison is sitting next to me, Premier League goal scorer, and Tottenham have started the second half strongly.
They have. It's just like the same in the first half, really. Man United have to get possession of the ball. I've said it. I don't think Bruno and Casemiro can play as them two centre midfielders. It's difficult. That's where all the action is. Bruno Fernandes probably push him higher in one of the number 10s and let him get on the ball and create something.
Referee Banks is saying to Tottenham, well, Danso's going to get himself yellow carded here unless he gets on with it, although he's saying to Højlund that he can't stand where he is because he's not 10 yards away from the ball. So that's all helped Tottenham out, rather. And Danso eventually does take the free kick short. Kulusevski trying to work it around Dorgu, who was playing for Lecce in Italy, the Danish international, until his transfer for around about £25 million last month. The Tottenham throw is taken by Porro to Bentancur, straight to Dorgu, but it bounces off him. Tell's nipped it back. Possession for Tottenham, just keeps it in on the right. Tell's going to the corner flag, plays the ball infield. Casemiro with a touch, and then Harry Maguire passes it forward to Garnacho, but Porro's very quickly in on him. You can hear the reaction from the Tottenham supporters. Hans Postecoglou as well with those black gloves on. Muffled applause from him as well for Pedro Porro. Didn't give Garnacho a moment.
No, you can't, because Garnacho, Pedro Porro knows Garnacho's got a run on him, so that's good defending. Didn't let him turn, and eventually won the throw-in as well.
Still this cold wind. It's a sharp wind, isn't it, that is swirling around the stadium here. Ball goes back to the centre circle, and then Maddison receives it back from Ben Davies. Might see Brennan Johnson make his return in the second half. We'll see. He's on the bench. Jed Spence turns. Mazraoui goes past him on the outside, pulls it across Kulusevski, and then Tell a bit of a snapshot, a reaction effort. It was slightly behind him, the pass, and he snatched at it with his left foot, really, which sent it over the angle of post and bar.
Yeah, it's good play from Jed Spence. He just spins Mazraoui and he can't catch him. He's so quick, Jed Spence. Cuts it back to Kulusevski. He can't, and then it's a difficult one from Tell because it's just behind him. Can't adjust his body, but good play from Spence. And the reason he's gone on the outside is because Ange had a goal at him a minute ago because he gave the ball to Son and just stood there. He wants his fullbacks to get round his wingers. So good play from Jed Spence.
Yes, it was. That's why he is becoming, might already have become a favourite here, Jed Spence. And Manchester United start again. Tottenham leading 1-0. Maguire with his pass, that might well be offside. Dallow's made the run. Dallow into the penalty area, shoots at the goalkeeper, who parries it away, and then the offside flag does come up. I trust you so much, Clinton. You made the old offside signal.
I've seen him. Dallow's gone, and I was thinking as Jed Spence checked his shoulder, but he's already gone. He's way offside. He's about 3 or 4 yards offside.
Bruno Fernandes has had something to say. Believe it or not, I know that's pushing it.
That's unusual, no?
Yeah, I know. Bruno Fernandes with Peter Banks. I think Maddison might have also said something.
That's unusual as well. Both of them.
He's got his hands full with those two, Peter Banks. So Tottenham start again from the edge of their own penalty area. Lines open for 606 on 5 Live. The UK's most popular phone in. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will be taking your calls. 085 909 693 if you've been at some of the matches today or this weekend. Here's Højlund for Manchester United near the edge of the box, but Porro steps forward and clears it towards the halfway line. Manchester United are yet to have a spell really in the second half. 8 minutes played and the onus is on them. Tottenham are on the front foot. That's where Ange Postecoglou likes his team to be. And Manchester United, though, do now have possession inside the Tottenham half. Their supporters are all around that corner on the far side of the ground, the lower tier. Thousands of them here as Casemiro plays it forward for Xerxes. And then Bruno Fernandes, there's space here for Xerxes, plays it to the lovely touch from Garnacho into the penalty area, shoots at the goalkeeper, bounces back to him. Garnacho then couldn't find Højlund in the middle. He was at full tilt though. He really just tried to pull it back and he passed it straight to Danso. But Vicario with the save, and then Danso rather piles in with a challenge on Garnacho, on Højlund rather. No free kick. Manchester United continue. He did get the ball, Danso, but that was an old-fashioned central defender's tackle on the edge of the box. And then Xerxes, he loves to roll his foot over the ball, Xerxes, doesn't he? Back to Maguire, who carried it forward but then angles it back to De Ligt, and De Ligt lifts a pass over the top of Bruno Fernandes. Ironic cheers from the Tottenham supporters. It's out of play for a throw-in, and Tottenham still 1-0 up.
Yeah, it's a good chance, to be fair. Xerxes plays a good ball to Garnacho. Pedro Porro couldn't get there. He maybe just done enough because Garnacho, I'm not going to be critical of him because he gets his shot away. Good save from Vicario. Really good save. His save he should be making as well.
Yeah, it was more or less straight at him. Yeah. So Robbie Savage, Chris Sutton standing by. 08085 909 693. You'll be able to read about the details on all of today's action on the football pages of the BBC Sport website and app. Nizar Kansella will be writing on this match. The highlights on Match of the Day 2 tonight on BBC One, and there will be the Premier League review on the Football Daily podcast feed later and in the morning. Here's Garnacho cutting in from the left-hand side. Garnacho plays it back, and that's controlled by Mazraoui, who then slips over as he tried to pass the ball out towards the far side. However, Bruno Fernandes is able to mop up the pieces, gives it to Dalot, and then Dalot challenged by Spence, and the ball bounces behind, and the officials say goal kick Tottenham.
Yeah, I think he done well, Spence. I think Dalot tried to take him on his outside. He defended it well, and it might just have come back off Dalot. Watching the replay here, I think it's good defending.
Oh, God, yeah, that's a double deflection. Dalot, Spence, and then Dalot behind. Goal kick, which is taken forward by Danso, out of play off Garnacho for a throw into Tottenham, halfway inside their own half. Mention the Football Daily podcast. Do look out on there as well an interview with Graham Potter that Kelly Summers did. This was before yesterday's defeat for West Ham, but in-depth interview It was on Football Focus yesterday, but the audio version of that, the interview with the West Ham manager Graham Potter, is on the Football Daily podcast. BBC Sounds for that, where you will find all of live BBC radio. And Casemiro for Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes, and lots of live sport on the radio this week to listen to with the Champions League commentaries Tuesday and Wednesday night. Bruno Fernandes to Dalot, back to Bruno Fernandes, in comes the cross, headed away by Danso, hasn't cleared the penalty area, Garnacho shot, Vicario with a save, he parried it out, that's a very good save actually, got down, outstretched right arm, good contact on it, strong arm, and Xerxes, who was in an offside position, knew that it was pointless going for it, and Tottenham were able to clear.
Yeah, it's good. Garnacho's been good in his second half, and that's how he should have probably took his first half chance. It's a great strike, but good save from Vicario. He's been out for a bit. He's had to make some important saves for Tottenham in this game.
Yes, he has. Vicario, the Italian international goalkeeper, 28 years old, recovered from a broken bone in his ankle before Christmas. Manchester United are now having that good spell in the second half. Bruno Fernandes with the cross, Bergvall heads it away, still in the area. Xerxes manages to glance across the box. Garnacho goes past Kulusevski but runs out of pitch as he tried to reach the ball. It's behind, and it's a goal kick to Tottenham. It's a good contest.
It is. Man United have grown into it the last 5 minutes. Tottenham can't get out. I think Ange might look to his bench in the next 10-15 minutes because he's got fresh players that are coming back. Maybe need a bit of pace in the team.
Yes, he has. Sarr and Basuma are both on the bench. They've had a lot of football, and I think they've had injuries as well, haven't they, that they've been carrying, judging by what he's been saying. So Doggy is back as well. Brennan Johnson I mentioned, Wilson Odobert, the summer signing, and the youngsters as well. Scarlett and Moore are there as Manchester United lose possession. Casemiro and now Son up against Mazraoui, but the recovering Bruno Fernandes got a touch on that, which takes it all the way into the penalty area. Onana comes across very coolly, takes the ball away from Tell and passes it out to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes cross-field pass, drives that through in between two Tottenham players to Xerxes, who is in to Dorgu, who is in an offside position. He wags his finger at the assistant, but I think he was right.
He was right, but Son has to be better than that, John. That's what we're saying. It's not the Son that we've seen in previous years. He's slow to get the ball away. He's got to move it. Kulusevski was in great position on the right-hand side.
I suppose the question will be with Son whether this is just a blip in his career. He is 32 years old now, and he signed that contract, didn't he? That contract extension in January. Or whether it's something more permanent than that. Son, here is Maddison. Maddison curls it in. Tell chests it down and shoots, but wide via a deflection. Onana was scrambling down onto his knees, but the defender who was in front of Tell just got a contact on that to send it wide, and it's a corner that Tottenham will take.
Yeah, it's good little ball from James Maddison. I have a needle pass, and Tell, he just couldn't get it out of his feet, the chest. Once it drops, good defending from Matthias de Ligt.
Come on, you Spurs. The cry cascades down from that vast south stand to our right. It stretches right up towards the Golden Cockerel. Corner is taken short by Son. Maddison twisting and turning, his ball across, blocked by Casemiro, comes out to Son. He's on his right foot, could open up for him, deflected wide. Across the goal, as he looked at it, across the goal to the right and behind. And a couple of Tottenham changes. Brennan Johnson's about to make his comeback. Clinton.
Yeah, and Pape Sarr, I think, as well. So, yeah, it's good. It's got good options on the bench. I think it's for the first time he can turn around and he can say, I've got options to change it here.
If Tottenham hang on and win this, or indeed extend their lead, win this match, I know exactly the kind of thing that Ange Postecoglou is going to say in all of his interviews. You'll hear our interview with them during 6:06. Corner then for Tottenham, glanced on and then headed away by Dalot on the edge of the 6-yard box. 1-0 Tottenham lead. Here is Porro again, controls it, low ball in, it's gone a long way. Cal with a shot, but that was blocked. Mazraoui flung himself in front of it and blocked it effectively. Tottenham continue to press for the second goal that, given we're in the last half hour now, would be very difficult for Manchester United to come back from. Maddison to Tell, still Tell going, he's tall, lean and leggy. Son to Porro now. Kulusevski makes a run, but that's taken him into the full-back position. Takes on beats De Ligt with the recovery. Dorgu was there as well, and Bruno Fernandes is able to clear it away up towards Højlund. Højlund chests it down, but Maddison was quickly in. He really lacks confidence, Højlund, right now. I think as Spence plays the ball into Tell on the edge of the area, but Casemiro is in there to put in the challenge, and Casemiro falls as he was just clipped by Tell. There was enough in that for Casemiro to win the free kick, and the veteran Brazilian gets up and looks at Peter Banks as if to say, how many times am I going to be fouled like that? Right, here come the Tottenham changes, and that's it for Maddison, who obviously has just come back after 5 matches out with a calf injury, so they'll be taking care of him. But while he turns and applauds all the way around the stadium, the scorer of the only goal so far in the match, Maddison is off, and also the other midfielder, the other side of Bentancur, Bergvall, makes way, so Sarr and Johnson are on.
Yeah, you can understand that with the Maddison one. I'm not sure about the Bergvall one. I think he's been good in there, but it's just fresh legs. I think Man United were starting to overrun them in midfield.
And Ange Postecoglou possibly thinking, I'm in a position where I can make changes.
Exactly, and you've got players. It doesn't weaken your team, does it, John?
So Brennan Johnson, good to see him back. He had that excellent run, didn't he, earlier on in the season, but he's missed 7 matches, and as I say, is Tottenham's top scorer this season with the 12 goals that he scored in all competitions, and if you remember, did score against Manchester United at Old Trafford earlier this season. Tottenham are on to make it 3 wins out of 3 against Manchester United with this scoreline this season, and it is Manchester United though with Casemiro, but back comes Son. Got a tackle in on Casemiro, and Tottenham will break with Kulusevski in the centre circle. Here now to Johnson, his first touch of the match. Johnson against De Ligt. Johnson's cross hits De Ligt and then loops behind closer to the corner flag.
See, he has to do better. I think when you've got pace like that, you've got to have a trick. I always watch Johnson, he just wants to shift it and whip it. I get that, but then you have to beat your first man. Doesn't believe in himself enough, John. He's got some talent, but he has to start believing in himself.
Corner to Tottenham. They're trying to suck in a second goal. Kulusevski to take this corner deep to the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Maguire, and it skinned his head. That famous big head doesn't roll out of play on the far side. Dalot went in and upends Johnson, and that's a free kick, which is a bit like a corner really. It's about 5 yards probably away from the corner, so Son goes across there to take this. That wind continues to whip around the stadium. It's a real winter match, this. Dark now as I look up through the futuristic roof of this stadium, and then down to see Son, who's looking to deliver this in. The tall Sarr is now in there as well in the 6-yard box. Ben Davies is also in. Manchester United marking zonally. Son just standing off the pitch, gives his signal with his left arm, and then to the near post, a flick which took it wide from Kulusevski via a defender, one of those 6 United defenders in the box. It's another corner. So this is corner number 5 of the second half.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good ball in from Son, but I think Kulusevski improvises ever so well.
Yeah, makes the best of it, doesn't it?
Does.
This is where Son scored from, wasn't it, in the Cup quarter-final, the same corner quadrant, when Bergvall impeded Bayinda. In it comes. Kulusevski tried to flick it on, was blocked away, and then headed away by Zirkzee. Spence volleys it, a sort of cushioned volley forward. Bruno Fernandes tangling with Kulusevski, bounces back into the Manchester United right back area, and then Casemiro puts his foot through it and clears it to the halfway line. Tottenham though back in possession again. Spence manages to find the pass to Son. Son drags it back, gives it to Spence. Spence goes away from Mazraoui. Casemiro's out there as well. Casemiro must be feeling it a bit, just one start in 2 months, and he's had to make a lot of ground.
Yep, you're right.
As Sarr will carry it forward for Tottenham towards the edge of the penalty area. Spence is there as well, and Xerxes and Mazraoui are in on the challenge on him, but Bentancur is there, and Tottenham are able to win possession again. Does feel as though Tottenham have dominated the possession in the second half. Bentancur now to Son skipping away. Bentancur back to Jed Spence again. Mazraoui just backs away from him. Spence keeps possession, goes past Xerxes. Spence with the shot that bounces straight at the goalkeeper, Onana, who is able to plant his feet wide and gather it up into his chest.
He called out a back pass because he didn't test him, to be fair. He's like, you can see he hasn't scored many goals. Jed Spence does well but lacks the power. It's a comfortable save from Onana. 1-0
Tottenham lead. Manchester United heading for what would be their 12th defeat in the Premier League this season. And Dalot for United up towards Højlund. Højlund square. Xerxes allowed it to run, but Bruno Fernandes was never going to get there, and Pedro Porro is able to pass it to Johnson, and Tottenham come forward. It is 4 against 4. Still in possession, Johnson now to the edge of the box. Kulusevski to his right. Kulusevski into the area on his left foot, skips past Casemiro, still going, might bounce for Sarr on the edge of the box. Manchester United throwing bodies in there. It's worked to Son against Mazraoui in the box, shift of feet, then the shot that comes off Mazraoui and loops up and wide and behind for another Tottenham corner.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. Tottenham that's what it's going to be like. Man United break, and then they on the counter attack, poor pass from Højlund there, didn't pick out Xerxes or Bruno Fernandes. Then they break. Brennan Johnson got to believe in himself. It's opened up. De Ligt's letting him have the space, drive the space and have a shot at goal.
The pressure's building on Manchester United here. This Manchester United team, injury hit Manchester United, who have lost 7 of their last 11 Premier League matches, and they're losing this one. Son with the corner, it's a deep one in, and Onana came. He was concerned about that with his fist raised, but it looped onto the roof of the net and behind for a goal kick.
He's listening to you, Son, isn't he, John?
For that goal
yeah,
again,
he's going for that
he?
goal again, weren't he? But yeah, it was too much whip, and I think Onana had it covered.
Yeah, it's not Bayinda this time, and he didn't have Bergvall putting pressure on the goalkeeper. So straight behind. Goal kick Manchester United, who are in danger of losing possession, and that's exactly what's happened after Mazraoui cleared it. Tottenham have got it back. Spencer's ball in. Johnson with a volley back towards Kulusevski, who was challenged, and then Porro has clipped Dorgu, and that's a free kick to Manchester United in the left back position for Ruben Amorim, who are just watching down there, the bearded Portuguese clapping his hands. It's an important spell in the match here because Manchester United have to hold out here.
They do.
And hope things get better. 1-0 to Tottenham. Xerxes, that's asked a lot of Højlund. Højlund against Danso, and the Tottenham defender just got there on his home debut ahead of Højlund. I thought for a moment there Højlund was the favourite to get that, but Danso on the stretch just got a touch to it, and Tottenham were able to deal with it. Spence is going to have to be strong here, and he is, and Dalot then has to go to ground and play it out of play off the Tottenham fullback for a throw-in, which is rather oddly taken by Dalot, almost crouching down. De Ligt. Here's Garnacho now. Garnacho, who had the big chance for Manchester United in the first half, shot over the crossbar. De Ligt to Bruno Fernandes, turns, looks for the space. It's there, out on the right-hand side, as Dalot just shuffles in field, and Bruno Fernandes to Mazraoui, and now Dalot's cross from the right, headed away by Pedro Porro. A clumsy challenge by Tell on Casemiro. Nevertheless, Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes have possession. Diogo Dalot is able to give it back to Mazraoui. Mazraoui's crossing, stretch from Xerxes with a header across the face of goal and wide of the far post.
That's a chance, to be fair. I don't know if it's a great ball in from Mazraoui, good build-up play, but I'm not 100% sure if Xerxes just stretching for it, because it's a free header, John. He should really be scoring from there, but it's a great ball in from Mazraoui. He's onside Xerxes. Nah, it's a chance. He's got to do better than that. It just looked like he was ambling in there, but never thought he's going to win that header to pull it in. Watching it again, he is stretching, John. Yeah. So I'll take that back.
Yeah, just couldn't direct it on target, and it bounced wide of the far post. But that's a bit of encouragement for Manchester United, as is this. Bruno Fernandes with a flick, Casemiro, then through to Garnacho, who took a tumble inside the box. Bounces back for Højlund. Højlund onto his right foot, shoots straight at Vicario. from 12 yards, straight at the goalkeeper, who was able to make a secure save.
But look, it's like Tottenham are desperate to get Man United back in it there. Ben Davies was on the ball, he's panicking, giving it away, and Andrew's going mad on the touch, and he wants his team to just relax.
Well, here is Ben Davies with the ball at the back. Archie Gray on the bench. I wonder whether he might be an option for Ange Postecoglou. He doesn't give much away in his body language, does he, the Tottenham manager?
No, he doesn't, you're right.
Yeah.
But you can see sometimes when he's frustrated, yeah.
I think he was quite pleased when the fourth goal went in at Manchester City, if I remember rightly, as Bruno Fernandes dispossesses Kulusevski, and Manchester United threatening to have a better spell here. Dorgu to Xerxes. Fortunate bounce infield to Casemiro. Casemiro does the right thing, passes the ball out to the space. Dalot back to Bruno Fernandes, curling it into the back post. It's bounced a long way to Garnacho. Porro stuck out a leg. Garnacho, though, plays it into the two Tottenham players, Johnson and Porro, and it bounces behind for a first Manchester United corner of the second half.
Yeah, Tottenham have been poor. Since he's made the changes, they've actually gone backwards, Tottenham, and it's Man United that are growing into the game and look like the next team to score the goal in this game.
Bruno Fernandes to take this corner. Packed 6-yard area, lots of movement in there. The ball's played in. Vicario comes, the goalkeeper, and is able to get both gloves to that to push it away. Bruno Fernandes works at sort of reverse pass, and then the cross from Dorgu to the back, taken down by Casemiro. Casemiro trying to work the position, goes down, throws himself down. I think Spence put his hands up onto the body of Casemiro, but he threw himself down.
He's never going to get that. He's never going to get a penalty.
Desperate.
Yeah, it was desperate. But they got to keep the ball. Tell's got to keep the ball.
He has not kept the ball. Manchester United have got it back. Xerxes goes around Bentancur beautifully, and then with the ball through, which is half cleared by Danso, but tidied up by Davis. And Tottenham, I think, have managed to survive that pressure. They lead 1-0. And we might have a nervy last 15 minutes here, Clinton, with this scoreline. The ball's played over the top by Porro for Johnson. Johnson works it across. Maguire couldn't get there. Son on the edge of the box, back to Tell with the shot, but lacked power. And Onana was able to go down. It was like that back pass you were talking about again.
Yeah,
he's easy for Onana.
Easy. Tell is not. He's been in and out of the game, and they're the opportunities that as a striker that you've got to put your foot through it. Probably looking at it now, and you're thinking maybe take him off and bring on some fresh legs, because he's done well up there, but he looks like they're starting to tire a bit.
Yeah, he scored that goal on his full debut at Villa Park right at the end of the cup tie when Tottenham went out last Sunday night. That was, but the. He does look like a player who has not got a hatful of goals behind him. Didn't score at all for Bayern Munich this season after the 10 that he got in all competitions last season. 19 years old, will be 20 later this month. Dominic Solanke very much still on the injured list. Manchester United with Casemiro's pass taken down by Dorgu infield to Casemiro. First time touch from him, back to De Ligt, and now Bruno Fernandes down the line to Garnacho again. Garnacho comes infield. Porro, though, kept his eye on the ball and was able to put in the tackle, and then gives it to Son, who skips away from Mazraoui. Then Dalot with the challenge, but actually ends up playing the ball for Son to run onto again, and now Son against Mazraoui. But Son just holds it up as the support arrives from Sarr.
That's brilliant, John. That is Son of old, where he just knocks it and takes you off the pitch when your team is struggling under pressure. Just buys you a bit of time, because no one can catch him or stay out with him. But good play from Son.
So it is Tottenham who've got it back on the halfway line, going to make another change, and it is Archie Gray who's going to be the next Tottenham player.
That could be for Danso, because Danso just looks like he's feeling it a bit. I see him stretching a lot since that last-ditch tackle he made on Højlund. He does look like he's struggling a bit.
Yes, he does, doesn't he? That body, slightly hunched shoulders as Tottenham go back into their own half. All of those young, untried Manchester United substitutes. Clinton, look down to our left. There they all are.
I'm bringing them on with 10 minutes to go. Why not?
Well, why not?
Exactly, give them an opportunity.
Yeah. Tottenham, though, continue to search for that second goal, but Bentancur just runs into trouble in the centre circle. Then Sarr slides in and the ball runs for Kulusevski. So Tottenham come again with with the Swedish international Kulusevski up against Dorgu the Dane, who goes to ground and does well actually to get a foot on that on the slide to put it out of play for a corner to Tottenham, who I think will make that change now. And you're right, Clinton, you spotted that. Danso is going to have to make way. Kevin Danso on his home debut, and he applauds all around the stadium, the generous applause. It's actually going to be a double change, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Benton Core's coming off as well, just feeling it a bit.
So Bissouma is going to come on to replace him in the midfield, Yves Bissouma. So a double change, and Archie Gray is back into central defence again. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 changes now that Tottenham have made. Manchester United still with the team that started the match. The Tottenham corner, 7th of the second half. Pedro Porro drives this one to the edge of the area. A shot from Bissouma's first touch of the match went for goal with that. Blocked inside the area. Still with Tottenham inside the box. That's a desperate attempt by Johnson to try and win a penalty. Just threw himself to the ground. Tottenham still with it. Bounces down. Kulusevski gives it to Son to his right. Son back to Kulusevski. This to win it. No, it's saved by Onana. Went down. Didn't get the power on that Kulusevski that he wanted. Good chance that. As Manchester United, Xerxes up towards Højlund. That's a foul. Ben Davies dived in. Referee plays advantage. Garnacho still carries it forward. Højlund back up on his feet. Then played across into the penalty area by Dorgu to Højlund, but defenders were back there. Spence gets the low 5 for that block on Højlund. It's behind Manchester United corner.
Yeah, it's a chance for Højlund, but it's good defending from Jed Spence. Again, he comes across and makes a good block. But they're open, Tottenham. They are open. When they're attacking, the game's like a basketball match at the moment.
Thought it was going to open up for Kulusevski at the other end there.
Yeah, he didn't put his foot through it though, John. It was like tentative from Kulusevski. He's trying to into that far corner.
Lines are open for 606 08 085 909 693 on 5 Live. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Corner for Manchester United. Vicario on the stretch had to get to that. He was really crowded there, but he did. De Ligt crosses it to the back post. Casemiro heads it back to the edge of the area where Son was able to sweep it away. 10 minutes to go here. Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes over the top of Højlund and all the way through for a goal kick. Couldn't get to it, Højlund.
No, he couldn't, and Tottenham were coming out, so if someone made that run in behind, he would have got a good opportunity. It was a good ball in from Bruno Fernandes, but there's still a big chance in this for Man United. Tottenham need that second goal.
Yeah. We didn't expect it to be 0-0, which it isn't going to be. We knew that early on in the piece, but I certainly don't think we expected it to be 1-0 either.
No, not at all. I thought there'd be much more goals than this.
Yeah, this is most unlike them. Some of the matches that we've seen here this season. As there's a handball against Kulusevski, which is being protested by Tottenham, by Johnson, but I think the referee got the right decision there. And see Ryan Mason, one of Ange Postecoglou's coaching staff, is in discussions with the fourth official, Michael Salisbury. Didn't think that was a handball. They didn't. Free kick, Bruno Fernandes from near the halfway line, but straight onto the head of Bissouma, who's able to head it down and clear it away. Back to Bruno Fernandes, same thing. Drives it forward, headed away by Bissouma, and he's headed it to Tell. Son with the run. In fact, he's passed it square to Johnson, who slipped, and then Dorgu landed on top of him. Kulusevski onto the loose ball though. Kulusevski into the box, angles it back, but straight into the path of Harry Maguire, and Harry Maguire controls it, and the referee's going to bring it back because the Tottenham man is down. And Brennan Johnson, and he is holding his head, so that's why
I think he'll be all right. Yeah. I just think he slips over, and it's more embarrassment than anything. He does get catch. I think he does get caught, and Dorgu might catch on the top of his head. Yeah, he does. He gets a knee into his head, but he'll be all right to continue. Yeah. I think Tell picked the wrong pass there. I think Son made a bad run, should have stayed wider, but Tell just looks like he's tiring a bit. I'm surprised Ange hasn't taken him off at the moment.
Yep, the wrong intel. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. We've just seen a shot of Bentancur, who's got an ice pack on his knee.
You don't need an ice pack on his knee on a night like this, do you? Just leave the knee out there, John. Wow.
That's as good a point as you've made today. 085 909 693 for more good points for Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Manchester United with Xerxes, Bruno Fernandes now. Dogu is available on the left-hand side. Here's the cross from him to the back post, but he gets it all wrong. And just rather tamely lifts it in, and it drifts behind for a goal kick. Manchester United need better than that.
It's poor from Dogu, and it's poor from Tottenham in the first place. Basuma's got to be stronger. He's a centre midfielder. Make your tackles. If you have to make a foul, make a foul, but be stronger. But Dogu's got to do better than that. I think Højlund and Xerxes are fed off scraps, but you've got to deliver for them. And you know why Ruben Amorim, he probably doesn't even know any of the young players on the bench, John. Literally. So that's why he probably hasn't brought them on, because I'm surprised he hasn't made a change at the moment.
Yeah, Manchester United still with the 11 that started the match. Here is Garnacho. Garnacho into the penalty area. Porro goes with him. Garnacho with a cross, blocked by the defender. Garnacho then with his right foot across. Xerxes swings a leg at it and misses it. Hence the reaction from the Tottenham supporters, mocking him. And Tottenham break. Kell to Son. And then Mazraoui with the covering challenge, and Maguire goes back to the edge of the area. The score, Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. This would be a very valuable win for Ange Postecoglou, and important as well in the context of them going out of the domestic cups in their last 2 matches. Bruno Fernandes, long pass, bounces into the full-back position. Dalot with the cross, but that's blocked behind by Spence. It's a corner to Manchester United. So from the right-hand side. This time next week, if you're listening to 5 Live, we'll be bringing you commentary on Manchester City against Liverpool.
Ooh.
Don't miss that one.
Tasty.
Yes. Also, Six Nations commentary next weekend, including England against Scotland on Saturday afternoon. But Manchester United trying to salvage something from this situation. Corner from the right. Bruno Fernandes. De Ligt tries to get there. Bounces down into a crowd of bodies. Shot on the turn from Casemiro. That was blocked. And then it's shuffled away by the diving Brennan Johnson out for a throw on the left. Just wouldn't break for Manchester United in there.
No, it wouldn't. I think it's Casemiro that has the chance.
It was, but there were too many bodies in there. Dogu with the cross. That's better. Headed away though by Bissouma, one of the Tottenham substitutes, and then passed forward to Son, and then Son forward to Tell, and Tell running at Dalot, and Tell to the edge of the box in the D, and then couldn't find the pass to Kulusevski. I say couldn't find it. It was nothing like finding the pass to Kulusevski. It was easily intercepted.
It's a poor play from Tell. Really poor play. He's got to be doing better than that. It's poor. He breaks on it. If you're going to do that, come inside, have a shot and put your foot through it. But that was neither here nor there.
Tottenham going to make another change. That's the final one. And this one, we'll see Wilson Odobert make his return after a long time out. He's not played for 4 months, barely played for Tottenham actually since his move from Burnley last summer. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. That is the cry going up from 60,000 people or so. Certainly not the Manchester United fans, but the Tottenham fans inside this stadium. De Ligt back to Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, who scored that important late goal, the winning goal against Leicester last time they played, when it looked as though it was heading to extra time. Tottenham playing it forward with Tell, who slips over as he's challenged. It's out of play for a throw-in. The final touch was off the Manchester United man, and here we will see now the return of Wilson Odobert, just his 6th appearance for Tottenham Hotspur, and it is Son. So there we are. Tottenham have made all 5 substitutions, and Manchester United haven't made any.
Yeah, I think you can see probably why, because of the youngsters, but give them an opportunity. You've got 4 minutes to go, Ruben Amorim. Bring youngsters. I don't think he knows about Sir Alex Ferguson when he brought it through a few youngsters. They turned out to not have bad careers, did they, John?
Yeah, I don't think any Manchester United manager can be unaware of that. The history that there is with young players coming through, and Son could have left the field on the far side, but has actually made his way all the way across here. So he's got the captain's armband off, and here's a cheer for the return from injury of Wilson Odobert, the French under-21 international, number 28 on his back, who runs over there, still looking for his first goal in a Tottenham shirt. Last manager not to make a substitution in a Premier League match. We think that was Pep Guardiola against Newcastle back in 2023.
Yeah, but they were probably winning weren't they? They were winning 3-0. There you go. You're losing 1-0. You need a goal.
Yeah.
Change it up.
1-0 to Tottenham. 606 waiting for your calls. 08085 909 693. Bruno Fernandes barged into, but Manchester United keep possession, so referee Banks has played the advantage, although Tottenham win it back. Odegaard with a touch. Spence keeps his feet. Odegaard points where he wants it, but Harry Maguire's excellently positioned, and he holds off Odegaard, and then he holds him off again, even though the ball's over the dead ball line, just for good measure, and it's behind for a goal kick. Urgency now for Manchester United. 2.5 minutes plus added time to go.
Yeah, Spence does well there, but initially, but he's got to do better. He's got to either go for goal, but it's a poor pass to Odegaard.
Manchester United take the goal kick out from the back. Bruno Fernandes looks for the long pass, slips over as he does, and that means he mishits it, but it's kneed away by Spence straight back to Højlund. Be a bit of an escape if Manchester United come out of this with something. Ball into the penalty area. Højlund, Sarr was there, and Sarr couldn't, with the touch that he had, that takes it behind for a bit of a tame corner. The Manchester United supporters in that corner raise themselves. Ruben Amorim just turns to the bench there and says something to someone. I think he might be going to make a change, actually, his first change of the match, almost in added time. The corner though, Bruno Fernandes, outswinger, Casemiro with a header, but it is caught above his head by Vicario, had no power on it. And a comfortable one for the Italian goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's been good for Vicario. You can see Tottenham have missed him because his handling's been good. He's made some good saves. They've struggled in that goalkeeper department, but he's had a good game this evening. Yeah,
he's just he's unlike Kinski, he may go on to have a great career. He's a properly matured goalkeeper, isn't he? And now Sarr's able to carry it forward. He shrugged off Mazraoui. He plays it through for Tell, whose shot hits De Ligt, who was a couple of yards away from him. He stopped it with that block and then cleared it away. Tottenham again come searching for the second goal to wrap this up. It's Odegaard with a little run to the edge of the box, bounces into the area, Tell from the left, straight into the gloves of Onana.
His final pass has been poor this evening.
Onana's given it away with that pass out to Porro, who was fouled by Dorgu. The delivery from Onana gave Dorgu no chance really. Porro was into it and Dorgu had no alternative but to clip Porro, and it's a yellow card for the Manchester United left wing back as he's been today.
Yeah, Onana's shouting at him. It's such a poor throw. Why are you rushing it? Why don't you let your team get up the pitch? Blame yourself, Onana. Don't blame Dorgu.
The change that he's going to make is a very interesting one, because it's this much talked about 17-year-old Chidi Obi who is going to come on, Danish under-18 international. He's been scoring goals for the under-18 team. He is a forward. They've got high hopes for him. So the 17-year-old comes on for the 32-year-old Casemiro, who was on a yellow card, and here he is running into the edge of the penalty area. He's tall, isn't he? He must be 6 feet tall, I would say, maybe a little bit more than that. Chido Obi. And it is Tottenham though who attack. Porro's ball across the penalty area, and that's cleared away at the back post by Mazraoui rather frantically, only to Pedro Porro in the box, half cleared, shot on the turn from Ben Davis, that was deflected wide of the foot of the post. And Nana tried to keep it in, couldn't get there. It's another corner to Tottenham from the right. Manchester United, Clinton, have got such a great history, haven't they, of introducing young players who come up with goals. I wonder if Chido Obi is going to have a debut to remember.
Well, he's only given 3 minutes, so what chance do you have with that? But you know what, it only takes a second to score.
It does, but at the moment the ball's at the wrong end for that to happen. Tottenham take a short corner this time, and it's stabbed by Bruno Fernandes out of play off Pedro Porro. Well, we are into added time now. We've got 3 minutes of added time to play. Ball bounces into the Manchester United box. Tell loses out to Xerxes. It's got to go forward for Manchester United. Xerxes cut back in field and was rather fortunate to find the deflect back to him. Crossfield pass, that's just going to give it away. Brennan Johnson. Xerxes, though, still inside his own half, is able to win it back and then hits a rather laboured ball that's got far too much on it and will bounce through harmlessly to Vicario.
I really seriously question Man United's recruitment. I'm not being disrespectful, but some of these players that put on this Man United shirt, they're not Man United quality. And maybe that's where Man United are as a football club at the moment, John.
Yep.
So poor from Xerxes.
Well, there's a talking point for 606 08 085 909 693. The number 56, Chido Obi. I can understand why they have likened him to Rashford. He's got quite a similar body language, hasn't he?
He has.
Yes. Pedro Porro heading it forward for Tottenham. Tell brings it down. Anana has come out, and the touch was heavy from Tell. I wondered if that was the right decision from Anana. It was, because he was able to gather it, launch it downfield. Gray with the clearance for Tottenham, falls for Pedro Porro, and Porro's looking to win a free kick, but actually wins a throw-in off Dorgu. That might do, because I think there are only 20 seconds left, Clinton.
Yeah, they are. It's poor from Tell. I don't think he's been good enough in the final third today. His touch has been a bit offish, so yeah, for me, he's had kind of a poor and a quiet game. You can see there's something in the young man. So, but today, his final ball, final touch hasn't been good enough.
Tottenham are about to go above Manchester United, so Manchester United will slip down to 15th in the Premier League table. They've got the ball on the edge of their own penalty area. The referee's putting his whistle to his lips, and there it is. Tottenham have won it. And Postecoglou walks across. A handshake for Ruben Amorim, who has just seen his team lose for the 8th time in 12 Premier League matches. Manchester United really struggling with injuries. The inexperienced substitutes bench played the starting 11 almost all the way through the match, and they couldn't come up with an equaliser to James Maddison's early goal. The returning Maddison is the match winner with that goal, and Tottenham recover from their recent cup defeats to win again in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing you take is the 3 points and keeping a clean sheet, because defensively they've been nowhere near good enough, Tottenham, but I thought they were good at times this evening. Man United be disappointed, created a few chances in the first half and second half. Garnacho was the most lively, but it's a big 3 points for Ange, and Tottenham moving forward back to the drawing board for Man United. They need their injured players back fast, because that was a poor showing.
Yeah, a bit of a laboured win, it must be said.
It was laboured, yeah, you're right.
And actually, we should point out, this is the first match that Tottenham have won at home in the Premier League for 3.5 months, so perhaps we can understand it being laboured.
Yeah, you start getting worried and anxious when you haven't won for ages. That's why there's a big cheer from all these fans in that, because it's a massive win, and hopefully it can kickstart their season.
Yeah, they've done the league double over Manchester United. They've won 3 out of 3 against Manchester United actually this season. First time they've done the league double over Tottenham since Terry Venables was the manager. But for Manchester United, that is now 12 Premier League defeats this season, and Manchester United find themselves down in 15th after this. The United players, it should be said, are going over to their supporters. They've taken all of those young substitutes over there as well in their white coats, and are just standing actually and applauding the United fans for their effort, those who are still here inside the ground. But big relief for those in white shirts, the Tottenham players. They've beaten Manchester United Tottenham by 1-0.
08085 909 693. Myself, John and Clinton, have got about 8 minutes to react to Tottenham's victory over Manchester United before 6:06, but the line's very much open. Get your calls in. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage waiting to talk to you. We've got our eyes, John, on a few things, most notably whether or not we might see some Tottenham fans staging a sit-in.
Yeah, I'm looking now. I can see that banner that was actually lifted up and flourished just after Maddison scored the goal. It says, "We want our club back, Levy out." And looking around in the stands as well, it's mainly support at the moment. There is that yellow banner that we've seen before that suddenly appeared halfway up the south stand. This is the one that reads 24 years. That is the current ownership, the ENIC ownership that it refers to. 16 managers, 1 trophy, time for change. What have you spotted, Clinton?
One over there, Levy's game is about greed. Our game is about glory.
Yeah, another yellow banner there. And it may well be that Tottenham supporters are looking to stage that sit-in inside the stadium, even though they've won this match.
Yeah, all right, well, we'll keep our eyes on that. In the meantime, Goodness me, Clinton, Vicario. What a performance. What a difference one player can make when they come back from injury.
Yeah, but that's the important part of the pitch, isn't it? A goalkeeper. I think if your goalkeeper's assured, it makes your defence assured. But I thought he was fantastic. I thought he made some big saves at crucial times, and they have missed him. And he's a top goalkeeper. When he signed there, we didn't know a lot about him, but he proved himself at Tottenham. So to have him back is a huge confidence booster for Tottenham, and you can see by his performance this evening.
2 consecutive clean sheets, John, for Vicario. Separated by 3 months. Tottenham only got 2 more in the Premier League in the dozen games in between, which says something.
Yeah, with it should be added a frequently changing back line. And remember as well, it was the Chelsea game, wasn't it, where Romero and Van de Ven were rushed back and then both picked up injuries in that match and had further spells out. Indeed, Romero is still out, so that needs to be mentioned as well, doesn't it?
I have to say, Clinton, when you said to John Murray in the commentary, when is it time for summer? I was thinking Ruben Amorim might be saying something quite similar.
Yeah, definitely. I think he can't wait to get to the end. Even though they're still in the FA Cup and the Europa League, Crossy, but yeah, he's got a lot of injuries and players unwell at the moment, but he can't wait to get to the summer where he can sell a few players and then bring in his own players and then have a good pre-season to work with the players that he wants. And that's why so surprised Man United didn't do this in the summer instead of giving Ten Hag an extra goal. But yeah, it's a frustration time for Man United fans. They're going to have to suffer. I've said that many times. Before it becomes good, they're going to have to suffer. But he's still got to remember Ruben Amorim. He's at the biggest club probably in world football, and he needs to get results.
It is starting to feel, John, like the sit-in might actually be quite significant now, looking around.
It's actually quite difficult to tell. Okay. I mean, thousands of people have left the ground.
Them at the front, isn't it, John?
Yeah.
Because these lot could have gone, but they're still standing there. Yeah. I think the top ones are going.
I mean, people are still leaving. People are still heading to the exits.
Right.
And people are still coming down the steps from the top section of the south stand. There are certainly some people staying on the far side as well in the east stand. That's where the banner that Clinton mentioned about quote Levy's game is about greed. There's a gaggle of them there. But I would say at the moment it would probably be wrong to call it a mass sit-in, but there is a sit-in.
Okay. What are you going to get out of this? I don't understand. Because Levy's been there a long time.
Coverage, Clinton. We're talking about it. Any media there will be talking about it?
But it's not going to make Daniel Levy go. He's been there, seen it done many times, and at the end of the day, it's not Levy that goes. It's usually the manager that goes. So they've just had a good performance. And I understand they want their club and stuff like that. I totally get it from Tottenham fans. Yeah. But he has spent money at the football club. It's not his fault they've only had one trophy in so many years.
There was a very good article, actually, for those who haven't seen it, by Jason Burt in the Daily Telegraph yesterday, which was all about Daniel Levy, trying to explain a little bit about the character that he is. But in that article, there was a graphic, this one trophy that they refer to in the time of Enoch. The graphic reveals how in that time, Tottenham have won one trophy in that time, and this is all trophies, all of the trophies that these clubs win. Tottenham have won one trophy, Manchester United have won 24, Manchester City have won 24, Chelsea have won 21, Arsenal have won 16, which obviously hurts, and Liverpool have won 14.
I suppose the point is, Clinton, if you're upset about something and you want to protest about it, even if it only has a 1% chance of making a difference, that's 1% more than if you do nothing.
Yeah, and that's probably why they're doing it. And listen, they pay their hard-earned money. They're entitled to their opinions, the fans. But I think Daniel Levy has spent good money at this football club and brought in and helped a lot of the managers that they brought in. And then it's down to the managers to go and deliver. And would they still be moaning like this if Tottenham weren't in that position? So does it always fall on the chairman? I get it if a chairman don't want to spend any money, but he spent money since he's been at this football club. But you're right, Crossy, that 1% of people are listening. We're talking about it, so it's working.
Yeah, and remember as well, it's not just that, it's also about things like ticket pricing,
I
concessions.
Get that. No, I get that. I totally get that.
And how the supporters are treated in that respect.
So I get that, Crossy, because times are hard for people. Like, not everyone earns massive money, so I get it is times with the ticket prices being pushed up. So I can understand if they're protesting for stuff like that.
If you're a Tottenham fan, whether or not you're inside the stadium, but especially if you are, now that loads of people have left and the Wi-Fi will be working again, if you're listening via BBC Sounds, I am absolutely sure that Robbie and Chris would love to hear from you at that sit-in. 08085 909 693. Open invitation for Tottenham fans, Liverpool, Wolves, Manchester United, any of the clubs who've had big results today in the Scottish Premiership and the Women's Super League as well. 08085 909 693. Let me just ask you this one on the end to flip it back to Manchester United, Clinton. With them going forward, all of the players that Spurs have had outright, you could say, well, when they come back, there'll be a big difference. Vicario, big difference. Udogie, Romero, Van der Ven. I'm just looking at James Maddison doing an interview. He's on that list as well. But how many of the Man United players who are likely to be back this season, so you take out Lissandro and Ahmad from that, really feel like they're going to make a big difference to what's happening right now?
Yeah, you're right. I don't think, I'm looking at it and trying to think who can make a big difference. There's not really many I can pick out, to be fair. So you're right, Crossy. It's totally different where Ange had that excuse because the players that come in make them a better team. Where you look at the players that are out for Man United and you're thinking, who comes in and makes you a better team? As you said, Martinez and Ahmad, they're the two players, but they're not going to be back. And you know what? I've always said this, and I've said it. Be careful what you wish for, because Man United fans were complaining about McTominay when he was here, and now I've seen the other day nearly the whole of Man United fan base would have a Scott McTominay back in their team. So sometimes I always think, just be careful what you wish for.
They've got 13 matches to play, Manchester United, in the Premier League, and as we look at it now, they're 8 points behind Brighton. You know, that's quite a gap.
That is a gap.
And the reason I say Brighton is that's 10th, and Manchester United have not finished in the bottom half of the top flight for 35 years, and you know there is a serious possibility of that happening again.
08085 909 693. Clinton, John, thank you very much.
Cheers, Crossy.
Correspondent John Murray and Clinton Morrison inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 1, Manchester United 0, Liverpool 2, Wolves 1. The two Premier League results today in the Women's Super League. Chloe Kelly returned.